Hey, hello everyone. I am excited to be here today with some of my fellow wellness warriors, Denise Pesavento, Cameron Talon, Erin Vogelsen, and myself, Addie Sparkim. I wanted to just take a moment and say thank you for being here. Our talk today is entitled Meant to Feel Better. And the reason we wanted to talk about this stems from a few larger health issues happening in our world today. The biggest being that a lot of people are sick. And I don't just mean with the flu or colds, although there are way too many of us suffering from those viruses too. But I'm talking cancer, autoimmune, severe chronic allergies, cardiovascular issues, diabetes, and the list goes on. Too many of us are losing loved ones due to heart attacks, strokes, cancer, and other diseases. Chances are that you or someone you know has lost a loved one to disease, knows someone who's currently battling cancer or has already battled cancer or is facing some other major health issue. And how many times have you or your family been sick this year with a cold, cough, flu, or other virus? There's a couple statistics that are pretty staggering to me. Approximately 164 million children lose school days each year between the ages of kindergarten through 12th grade. Each of those kids has an average of 4.5 sick days. And just last year, there were 180 flu-associated pediatric deaths. That's startling. It's heartbreaking. And so we wanted to address some of these issues today. And now I'm going to turn it over to Denise.
So thanks, Ed. I have the pleasure of now delivering the good news. Everything that Addie just went through is super scary, and it sounds really glum. We get it. But we're here to tell you that it doesn't have to be this way. There's hope based on science, and the more of us that embrace a healthy lifestyle, the more we can take our health back and change these statistics. So we think that that is super exciting, and that's really what we want to focus on today. It all starts with one simple change. So we're going to share our stories with you on how we faced our own health challenges, and we have some others that are going to share their stories and how they reshaped the course of their health for the better. Because we are all meant to feel better, and we want you to feel better with us. We're going to take turns answering some key questions, but first we want to be transparent that all of us on this talk today, the four of us, have partnered with the Juice Plus company and their Healthy Living Revolution. We are business owners and also moms on a mission. We're impacting lives in positive ways by helping others carve out a path to better health, as well as growing a community and supporting our families. So it's pretty awesome. Our goal is at a minimum to inspire you to live your best, healthiest life. But if you also want to up-level your personal or professional development, we'd love to help you do that too. So just follow up with the person that shared this with you, and they can share more on that. So let's get started. Cameron, I want to start by asking you a couple of questions. Can you talk about what has been your toughest health challenge and when it occurred?
Yeah, so my toughest health challenge actually wasn't my own health challenge. It was my son's health challenge. And I think that's even worse because as a mom, I was that person whose kid was literally sick every week. When he started daycare at 5 months, he was on antibiotics, I think like 5 times before he was 1. Consequently, he's now allergic to penicillin, and I'm pretty sure that's all linked, but there was no reason why. Like, the doctors couldn't tell me why. He didn't have an underlying illness, and it kind of culminated when he was almost 4. He almost died from strep throat, which a lot of us take for granted that, you strep throat, you get some antibiotics and you get better, but that wasn't my kid. So we ended up in the hospital for a week, and he was really, really sick, but he did get better. And when I got out of the hospital, a friend of mine said, you really should put him on Juice Plus. And at that point, I would have done anything. Like, I just didn't even know what it was. I was like, sure. I gave it to him, and he is like now one of the healthiest kids I know. He never gets sick. And for me personally, like once I realized that, I was like, everybody's on Juice Plus now, because it's just been so awesome for our family. And not being the mom that you call if you want to know like the exact dosage for Motrin per child's weight, I was that mom, is great. I love that he's doing so much better now.
That's awesome. It's so hard, I think, as a parent, like the responsibility to advocate for these little lives is so enormous. And I know I've definitely been in that place of feeling like something's not right and I need answers, and feeling unfortunately like the team of people, whether it's doctors or specialists, whatever, aren't necessarily giving me that. So which it sounds like that was a little bit of your frustration too. Now, did you think, oh, sorry, go ahead.
I was just going to say, when we went for his follow-up after the hospital stay, the ENT looked at me and said, this is going to happen again. Yeah. And she gave me I was like, what do I do? She had no suggestions other than just say, oh, I don't know, it's going to happen again. And I don't know what you're supposed to do with that.
Scary.
Yeah.
So I guess what I'm curious about then, did you reach a place of acceptance? It sounds like you almost didn't, where you thought that okay, this is just going to be our journey. Like he's just going to be, we're going to have to be dealing with this for, indefinitely.
Well, yeah, I mean, I think so. When doctors are telling you that, it's hard to, a lot of us accept what they say, right? And I didn't know that there was a better way. I didn't know, what to do. I'm an attorney, so I have zero science background and zero health and wellness background. And my Juice Plus experience is solely based on my own experience as a mom and what it's done for our family. So I didn't know about Juice Plus when this was all happening. And it makes me sad, because going back to that moment where the doctor looked at me and said, this is going to happen again, I was mad. I was really mad at her.
Yeah.
I've never actually been so rude to a doctor in my life, because it just made me so mad. What's the point of telling me this if you're not going to give me, I'm an action person. You know me, I like to check those boxes. Give me a box and I will check it. So if you give me a box but not a way to check it, that's not okay with me.
Yeah, I mean, I feel angry for you, and I'm sure everyone listening to you does too. So I guess talk about then, so you mentioned Juice Plus and how it helped, but I'm assuming it's not like an overnight thing. So talk about kind of that.
It's totally not, because it really took me first of all, I'm so skeptical about everything. I think as a litigator, that's my background. I question everything. And for me to even agree to take Juice Plus was at a weak moment, because normally I would have been I don't know about this. This is probably not going to work. But I just did it because it was an action item, right? It was I was checking a box. It was something I could do proactively. And what's the worst thing that could happen? He's eating more fruits and vegetables. Okay, great. So it really took me 2 years to realize what an impact it had, because it's not overnight. It's fruits and vegetables. It takes a while for it to really work in the body, but it was an aha moment for me. And because I was so busy with so many other things in life, we're really busy people, I just didn't have time to focus on it. And then I realized oh my gosh, this is really working. And at that point I only had him on it. Nobody else in my family was on it. So when I realized, I was everybody gets Juice Plus. So, I've got my mom on it. She babysits in return for Juice Plus. That's how we pay her with Juice Plus. And my husband and my other son, and then my other son's constipation and eczema cleared up. So it was if I could go back in time, I would have just put everybody on Juice Plus when I heard about it. But you have to have your own journey, and that's mine. And don't be like me. Just learn from my mistakes.
That's awesome. Well, I mean, I think that this is such a valuable story that a lot of parents can probably relate to. So just one more quick question. Can you talk a little bit about any obstacles you currently face in keeping yourself or your family healthy, and kind of what you're doing right now?
Yeah, it's there's so many obstacles. I feel like the more you know about food sourcing and where our produce is coming from and where we get our meats and things like that, it becomes kind of overwhelming sometimes to read articles and really, because as somebody without a health background, like once you really start to realize what's going on and the toxins in our environment and how they're affecting. And, my mom has had breast cancer. She's one of 5 sisters. 4 of them have had breast cancer. We have cancer in my family. We have heart attack. We have diabetes. Like all of these things are in my family. So our biggest health issues, I feel like, are, at a minimum, it's great that my kids are not sick. That's awesome because I like to drop them off at school every day. But just from my my family history background, like the preventative aspect of Juice Plus, which isn't even something I knew about when we first started taking it. I just thought it was like, oh, great, we're getting some fruits and vegetables. Awesome. But the preventative aspect of it is really huge and comforting because of my particular family history, and also has made me really aware, just being involved in this community, of like ways that we can be healthier, like really easily. Because I have this nickname, like easy button mom. I like easy stuff, but I like it to be good. You know what I mean? So like it just being a part of this community, like I've learned so many things from like you and Addie about like health and how we can source our food better, and try to like go to the farmers markets and just eat more fruits and vegetables. And we do the Shred 10 and eat clean and sleep, and it's just it's been a really great progression for me coming from a law background to like get into more health and wellness and really just become interested and learn so much from the Juice Plus community about it.
That is so powerful. It's been really a pleasure kind of to watch this evolution, at least the more recent stuff. Because I do think that, when you're right, like when you start to kind of do a little bit of the educating, then you learn so much, and then you kind of, it opens doors, then suddenly you're learning more and discovering all these things, and it really can help impact everybody around you. So
yeah, it's really awesome. I mean, if you're my Facebook friend, you know that I just put a tower garden in my dining room. If you had told me I was going to grow my own like kale in my dining room, a couple years ago,
like, no way.
But we're having so much fun. We're growing our own vegetables. Like we know that we're not going to get pesticides because I put the seeds in myself. So we're just really like, it's awesome that there's such a powerful community. Like when you take Juice Plus, like you're not just taking capsules of fruits and vegetables, like you're really involved in this movement and supportive. People will support you and provide you with information and help you, which I love.
Mm-hmm. That's awesome. Thanks so much, Cameron. I want to shift it over and hear from Erin. And so Addie, I'm going to pass it over to you.
Awesome. I just wanted to say too that I totally relate to you, Cameron, in terms of having that frustration over not knowing about Juice Plus when you first had babies, because I had similar type of issues with, well, not the same exact health challenge, but I had a lot of issues with my firstborn. And, it was one of those aha moments too later for me of, once I finally was educated about Juice Plus and was able to integrate it into his diet and my second baby's diet, like just how quickly things started to shift for us. And I just kept thinking like, oh, if only I had known about this, but just more reason for us to let other people know about it so they can hopefully avoid some of those challenges that we had to go through. So I do also love hearing your story and the complete like 360 of what's happened. It's really amazing. And I love that you have a tower garden in your dining room. It's awesome. Mine's right outside my kitchen door. So, okay. Well, a lot of this for us is, sharing lots of different stories. And so I wanted to hear from Erin, who is a longtime friend of mine and was my, we met because she was my Aveda hairstylist. And we realized that we had all these amazing connections and passion for healthier living. But I know that there has been some serious uphill battles for her. So Erin, I would love for you to share some of your story and, what started as a really tough challenge for you.
I would say chronic eczema has been a long time health struggle for me since I was a child. It started seasonal and then it turned into food. Just realizing that, growing up, I had to really consider what I was wearing with clothes because I had these dark, itchy patches of dry skin on my back of my neck and arms. So it really made me self-conscious when I walked around school. And also when I was taken to a dermatologist, they would always give me medications to treat the symptoms, but they would not offer anything for the cause of why I was getting eczema the way I was. So this kind of plagued me all the way into my adulthood. So when I became a hairstylist, I worked with my hands a lot, and most cases I was having these flares up, and it just increased because of the chemicals I was using on my clients with hair coloring and other processes that we were doing. And the toxicity in the chemical treatments caused my eczema to just increase. So I was at a loss. I was really at a loss at that time.
That's so hard. And I remember watching you go through some of that and being angry for you about this. But the awesome thing is that you were able to make some really big lifestyle changes that changed things for the better. So can you share with us what happened? What was your turning point where you knew that you were meant to feel better and you didn't have to keep suffering?
The turning point was I just really got fed up. So I started to do research, and I knew that the doctor was going to say one thing, but I also, with the research that I was finding out that there were healthy living changes I need to make, whether it was exercising, eating more fruits and vegetables. And I even tried to be a vegetarian for a while, and all those things really, really helped. But juicing and trying to keep up with that regimen every single day was just too labor intensive, and I really failed at it. So at that point, I was just like, okay, there's something has to change. And when I was introduced to fruits and vegetables in a capsule, I feel like, okay, this sounds very simple and easy to do. So as I tried it, and I realized that this was going to be something that I wanted to do long term, because also reading and understanding nutrition is that it takes time for the nutrients to really get into the system, to really kind of give it an overall flush out for my skin to be cleared up. And so being consistent with taking fruits and vegetables and also having a clean eating diet over time, I did see improvement with my skin. And I also saw awesome benefits in terms of sleeping better, eliminating better, and also I'm having more energy to do other activities I really like to do.
I love that. How do you feel your skin is today, like compared to how it was, back when you were really having all of these skin issues?
It is so much better now that I am flooding my body with fruits and vegetables. My skin now, it is healthy. And I believe that when I do have flare-ups, and sometimes it's just challenging about, eating too many tomatoes, which is one of my allergies, is that I realize that I have a tool now. I have something that's going to fight the flare-ups. And so with that knowledge, I double up. So if I do have a flare, I know I can double up and it'll quickly take away the dry, itchy, and scratchiness.
So that's really fascinating because, the issue that my oldest son had when right after he was born was also eczema. And same same kind of thing where like for the first year and a half of his life, like he was covered in it. He had rashes all over his face, like in his elbows, the back of his legs. He was even hospitalized when he was almost 2 and I was 8.5 months pregnant with our second son, because his eczema was so bad. He would like itch his skin, but he would like with his dirty fingernails, and he got cellulitis from itching it. And what was interesting is that, you know, I had done a lot of research also, and I went to functional medicine doctors, and we were doing a lot to help him through that. But what was interesting is a lot of the medical practitioners and his pediatrician would always recommend creams. And so I think it's really powerful and fascinating that what you just said, what helped you was addressing it internally, not putting cortisone on, you know, not rubbing Aquaphor on your dry patches. Because I think that a lot of times the topical treatments are what we're told to do. So I think this is really awesome for you sharing this part of your story, because so many people suffer this. And Denise, maybe you can chime in too, because I know you've had these challenges with your kiddos as well. And just how fascinating it is once we start treating and healing from the gut, and how that really is what results in our long-term changes. Denise, did you have a couple comments about that just from your experience?
Yeah, I mean, I think that that's the common thing. I mean, that's what they're told. They're like, with my daughter, same thing. She was not sleeping, and I had an older one too. I had a toddler and a newborn, and they just kept saying, yeah, just give her baths and it will pass. And like a couple of days of a newborn not sleeping at all is like enough. This has been going on for weeks, and they could not give me any hope that there was like an end, you know? I remember like almost being in tears, because it's just give her warm baths and put Aquaphor all over her. And this poor kid, there was something going on. It turns out she had allergies, food allergies, but and my other ones suffered from eczema too. But I really find that keeping their diet, you know, we're not talking about perfection. We're talking about getting as much of the good stuff into them as possible. And that helps to really manage it. And with eczema, it's that layer of protective layer of the skin that is not strong. And that's what causes the rash. And really the only way to heal that is from the gut, from the inside out. And as Erin, you said, it just, you know, treating the symptoms, you can do that your whole life, but treating the cause is actually the solution. So.
Well, and I totally agree. And I know, Erin, now, you know, you're a mom of 2 little boys. Have you seen any challenges with their health?
Definitely. When my boys were a little bit smaller, now they're 1 and 2 now, I did see a little bit of eczema on them. But as soon as I saw that, I started to give them the Juice Plus. And the doctor, I took them in recently, and she said, wow, their skin is doing beautifully. And I can only attribute that to what we've done to their diet. It was increase the vegetable and fruit intake. And definitely Juice Plus has given them the nutrients they need for them to have clear skin. So I am just happy and thrilled that I don't have to think about those horrible situations I had growing up. They won't have to, because they're on it now.
Well, you truly have Juice Plus babies, which is awesome. This is great. I feel like we could honestly talk for hours and hours about this, because so many of us have health stories, and they run so much deeper even than the issues that we've shared today. But at least we've been able to share some of these stories with you. And, you know, we hope that those of you listening to this are inspired, and that you're also ready to take your own health back if you're facing your own health challenges. You have heard us talk about Juice Plus quite a bit, so we wanted to just take a moment and tell you exactly what it is. So Juice Plus, if you don't already know, is capsules and chews that consist of powdered produce from 30 different fruits, vegetables, berries, and ancient grains. It's nut-free, gluten-free, and it's 100% plant-based. Our fruits and vegetables and berries are completely vine ripened. They remain attached to the plant until the nutrition is fully developed. The fruits and vegetables are then ground up, which is actually better than simply juicing them, because we use the entire whole food, including peels, leaves, and seeds whenever possible. And that provides much, much more nutrition. Just as an example, the orange, and if you have an orange, up to 80% of the vitamin C is actually in the peel. I don't know about you, but I don't typically like bite into the orange and gnaw on the rind before I get to the juicy sections inside. So that's one of the things that I think is really amazing, is that, you know, when you're taking Juice Plus, you're bridging the gap on so many levels, but a lot of it is because you're getting that extra nutrition that even if you eat a lot of fruits and vegetables, you may be missing out on. So once all of the fruits and vegetables are ground up and juiced up, then they are slowly dried at low temperatures, and this preserves the nutrients. So everything remains live. And then you have this beautiful powder that is put into a capsule or a chewable. And then it's packaged up, and most of us, consume it every single day. All of us on the call today, we take it every single day. We give it to our families, and it's really, it is like Cameron was saying, she's like the easy button mom. Like Juice Plus is definitely hitting the easy button in a really simple, affordable way. But there's a few other reasons that we love it, and Denise is going to share some of that.
Yeah. And I mean, I really think it's like, for a lot of us, it's like our insurance policy, you know, in a way, because it keeps us from, when life gets in the way, we still kind of maintain these consistent, healthy habits, even when we're busy or we're on the go or on vacation. I definitely take my Juice Plus with me everywhere I go, for me and my kiddos. So the other reasons we love it, and the first I think is so super compelling and meaningful to me. It's scientifically proven. So the supplement market can be a little bit of a wild west in terms of like, you know, what's in these. And we always have these articles coming out about vitamins and supplements. Juice Plus is the most researched nutritional product in the world, with over 35 published studies in peer-reviewed medical journals. These are solid, double-blind, placebo-based research studies. And that is something that really makes me so proud and so confident in this product. And they're always looking to learn more and make the product better. And then when you're looking at these studies, also, it's really important to know that the studies are actually looking at Juice Plus's, the direct effects of Juice Plus in whatever their test group is. So they're not just taking something and saying, here's a study about fruits and vegetables being effective. It's and then applying that reasoning. It's actually like, how is Juice Plus working? Is it bioavailable? Is it effective? So the other thing is that I mentioned the supplement industry. Juice Plus is food. It's not a vitamin. So it has a nutrition label, not a supplements facts label. So if you were to go into the freezer section of the grocery store and pull out frozen peas or broccoli and look at the label, that's the label. That's the same type of label you'll see on Juice Plus. So this is whole food nutrition that we're talking about. There's no warning label, so it's safe for people of all ages, pregnant and nursing moms, children, elderly, and even professional athletes that have to adhere to rigid guidelines on what they put into their bodies. we often refer to it as womb to tomb nutritional support. Not that we want to talk about the tomb part, but the point is that this is good nutrition at every stage of life, no matter what. We also have an amazing plant-based protein powder. It's called The Complete. It's safe for the whole family. There's 2 flavors, chocolate and vanilla. It's vegan, gluten-free, whole food, and it has a lot of fiber in it, which a lot of protein powders don't. Amino acids, fruits and vegetables, all of that packed into a single shake. It can be used as a meal replacement or as a snack, a post-workout recovery drink. It's super versatile, and you can even put it into when you're baking baked goods. If you want to put some protein in there or some fiber, that's what I do. Pancakes, snacks, a lot of things. Juice Plus also has an omega blend that came out relatively recently, and it is awesome. It's a fully plant-based omega derived from algae at the source where we get omegas, not from the fish who eat the omegas. So reduces the risk of, or eliminates the risk of mercury contamination. Then there's complete bars and a Tower Garden, which we've mentioned before. It's what's turned Cameron into a gardener, and me too. I am not a plant gardener. I do not have a green thumb, but I have 2 Tower Gardens. So these are all just excellent ways to help people add more whole food into their diets and to make it convenient. It's also super cost effective. It costs around $2 to $3 a day. Kids can get their Juice Plus for free. It's the simplest, most convenient, and affordable way to get massive amounts of nutrition into our busy lifestyles. So as you heard today, it's definitely making an impact on our health and many others we've helped so far. And we hope that, we've gotten that point across. And Addie, if you want to kind of close it out, then I think we're good.
Yes, I do want to just emphasize that I hope one of the biggest messages you take away today is that we all have an opportunity to change the course of our health. You've probably heard the phrase, your DNA is not your destiny. There is tons of research now that supports this. The Juice Plus studies that Denise just mentioned definitely support this. We can actually remap the course of our health by infusing our systems daily with the nutrients we need. All of us that were on this call today have shared our experiences and doing that. And it's something that we're continuing to do all of the time. As we go through life, there's always new health challenges. We all have different predispositions and health histories, but we really can take control and feel better. And when we do this, a lot of the feeling better part is a physical feeling, but some of it isn't. Nutrition impacts everything. It impacts our mental state as well. And once we recognize a connection between what we put in our body with our emotional and physical well-being, this is when we take total control of our health. We're also no longer just reacting when things go wrong, and instead we're focusing on prevention and supporting our bodies so that we can have a bright future, and that so our bodies can function the way that they were designed. We'd love to partner with you and help you feel the way that you were meant to, so that you can live life to the fullest and take care of those that are most important to you. Thank you so much for listening. We look forward to supporting your health journey.
Thank you.